Hello everybody and welcome to the second open qualifier of the North Americas for WCS Valencia. I'm Kevin van der Kooi, also known as Rotterdam. With me is the one and only looking magnificent in purple, Johan Litod Merlo. Todd, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I'll have you know this is not purple, but Bordeaux or whatever, like some wine color, basically.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Bordeaux is more dark, I thought. I thought it was like dark red.
Maybe, actually. I just kind of say randomly. Like last time I tried to, I downloaded an app that finds you the name of a color if you point at it, and that was like a really weird name that I couldn't remember like for this. So there you go. But we're going to have some good games today here once again with our Open Cup 2, and looking forward to seeing if the guys that fell short yesterday. Not felt that would be pretty harsh, but fell short.
Hopefully they didn't fall, out of the chairs or something. Yesterday was a lot of fun, but we saw a couple of the names that we expected to make it through the bracket actually make it through the bracket. Of course, we qualified Jon Snow, Panda BME, Scarlet, and Raze yesterday. I would say Raze is the only one that kind of stands out there, but it's really cool to see some of these new up-and-coming North American players actually make it to Challenger. But today it's a second shot for everybody who didn't make it yesterday. I believe, Todd, you have the bracket already open on your screen.
Yeah, we can have a look.
Let's do that, guys. Let's take a look at this bracket.
Start at the top. Pug's going to be our seed number 1. Zenedor, we saw a little bit in action yesterday. Future will return as well. Neuro's there, man. Ready to make positive comments about whatever happens, even if bad things happen. Sotorx, Drunken Boy will return as well. Drunken Boy, I think he played pretty well yesterday, so wouldn't be surprised if he was able to make it there. Juggernaut, Jason, and QXC.
Yeah, that's a fantastic first round matchup. I would really love to cast that one. We haven't done any TVT yet so far this week. And obviously QXC, an old school name, going up against one of the more fun North American streamers, that is Mr. Juggernaut Jason. Also have a couple of community members like Gemini.
Yeah. No Regret is in there.
Ooh, Jig against printf, Todd. That's actually a very good matchup too. Ah, it's gonna be tough. Maybe we should do that one.
We got M. Canning also in there. Foxer that we saw yesterday. End Offline signed up once again. Cuddle Bear amongst the notorious people. Poke Bunny returns as well. It was quite close once more yesterday. Volts lost in the last round against Raze, and he's back. Dolan. Also, that was featured here on the mainstream yesterday.
That's a pretty
Your buddy Avillo signed up.
That's a pretty tough bottom side of the bracket, actually, with Biased over there, and Dolan, and Volt.
Yeah, the Riddler had a couple decent runs as well.
Lots of GM players in that bottom
there you
side.
go, Dr. Disrespect, sign up. Ready to take a forward hatcheries.
How cool would it be if it was actually the Doctor? He's like, all right, guys, we're going to stop playing that other game for a split moment. We're going to qualify for WCS. And he does. It's like, oh, my God.
We're taking over gaming over here, guys.
All right, so I think there are two matches that really stand out for me, Todd, in the first round. Jig against printf. Printf is, of course, well known for his cannon rushes, but he's one of those few cannon rushes that can do so much more than just cannon rush. Printf is actually a guy that if the game goes on after the cannon phase and it's about even, it's still going to be hard to beat him. But I think that Jig is one of the better North American Zergs out there. Maybe not top 3, but right below that. Like, Jig is very good. Played quite a few times against him and thought it was never a pleasure for me.
I saw a couple of these games where you were getting cannon rush like a couple games in a row. I don't know if it was against him, but I remember back then, like, eventually you started getting better against it, and then like holding it. It's all about knowing, right, how to react properly.
For some reason, Todd, there was a phase where I kind of forgot, because nobody cannon rushed me for a month, so I just kind of forgot how to deal with it, and I didn't make the Zealot anymore. For some reason, I always thought I'm just going to defend with Stalkers. And then everybody was shouting at me in Twitch. They're like, why don't you make a Zealot? I'm like, guys, it doesn't work. And then I was like, wait a minute. Actually, I used to make a Zealot. That actually helps a lot. It's all about preventing that first pylon and that first cannon, slowing it down a little. It mostly happened against Stills, the Korean Protoss that for some reason likes to beat up people on the North American server. And there was a time that he cannon rushed me multiple times in a row.
I finally thought you were going to admit that you listened to somebody, but then instead of listening to somebody, you just had to dig deep a little bit in your memory, and then you listen to yourself once again. So the stubbornness is still alive.
Twitch chat has helped me greatly over the years, Todd. They actually, the proxy tempers, it came from a guy in Twitch chat as well. He's like, hey, Roddy, why don't you proxy your tempers? I was like, well, that's never going to work. But
then you did it one time?
Yeah, and I beat a Terran that I actually had like a 0-3 record against. And I was like, this is the first time I've ever did this, and it works. And then I kept doing it, and then I really became kind of a...
So really, like, this shouldn't be called the Roddy build then? It should be called the guy in the chat build or whatever.
The Twitch chat build, that's what it was. But I did fine-tune
Who was that guy?
I have no idea. Complete random. It's like every now and then, you know, I let people decide what I should do. We've got a game invite. I decided that whatever game is up first, we should just go ahead and jump into that one. Maybe you can jump into
I told the ref to invite you to this one, actually, so...
Well, I think this is a great game, and I also told him I'd love to cast this. printf versus Jig, a match that's way too good, actually, to be a first-round matchup. Let everybody know that we're going to see some cannons here on the StarCraft stream.
Are we 100%?
Well, against Zerg, I still think so, at least some sort. Then again, Jig is obviously not crazy, and he must be well aware of the fact, you know, that printf is a cannon rusher. Like, Jig is one of those guys that's been playing a lot for a long time on the North American ladder. You know what I'm actually shocked by, Todd? Like, I think Game Time is a great Zerg, but when I was playing a lot on NA, if I would have to choose between Jig and Game Time, I'd always choose Jig. Like, Jig, to me, felt just like...
to be the better player.
Yeah, just like a tiny bit better. But Game Time has been putting up some really impressive results lately. So
was it against Protoss, though? Because I think he was like, when he beat you Thermal, that was a ZVT, so maybe against Protoss. Oh, it's a stylistic thing, too. Like, some people particularly struggle against your style. Like, you're not just like the typical Protoss, right? Like the mass Phoenixes and stuff.
My mom has always told me I'm a little special. And
I've seen you do well against Zergs that I thought I could never do well against. But then there are other Zergs that I can switch. Like, you do bad, and I think I will do better, for example.
Yeah, like you said, like StarCraft 2 is definitely a game, like many other sports, where styles make matchups, Todd. And against Zergs...
Styles make fights.
Yes, and where Zergs, like in general, there's a couple Zergs out there that like to play roach-heavy styles. Game Time is one of them. And in general, I do a tiny bit better against roaches than I do against Hydra Bane. And obviously, the other way around, that is the case as well. Some Zerg players love playing against Stargate Protosses, and some hate it. So we'll see. But I'm excited for this matchup, man. It's going to be really good. Oops,
Abyssal Reef, our first map. I think I'm going to wait for QXT's there, but he's waiting on Juggernaut Jason. I believe so.
The Juggernaut Jason, he better shows up. I know that he's been spending some time with Upper Tree Zelda. They were streaming some Zelda, I believe, for charity. It seemed like fun. Upper Tree Zelda, and one of the other North American Terrans who streams a lot. He is, I feel like Upper Tree Zelda and
That's
Nate.
a very long nickname.
Yeah, it is. I don't know why.
I was like, is it a clan or like a book?
It's his nickname, but he has a super high quality stream, Todd. He's like Nate, you know, like they're like tech wizards, and they put so much thought and effort into having the highest quality stream. But Juggernaut Jason in his stream is awesome as well. Would be fun to jump into that game. Because I know QXC recently got GM again.
Yeah. Kane also.
Yeah,
you saw that?
I saw that too.
They all come back, man. I said it. You can't leave StarCraft ever.
All right.
Every time I try to get out, they pull me back in.
It's that passion, Todd. It's just overwhelming. It's around us in the cloud. First game is live. Let's go ahead and jump into Abyssal Reef. Once again, we're going to see a lot of Abyssal today, guys, because it seems like this is one of these maps that everybody likes in the current map pool. Over here on the left up side, we're looking at the main base of perhaps the most notorious cannon rusher in NA, together with Widemits. It is printf.
Yeah, we couldn't possibly disrespect the Widemits.
No, you can't.
I tuned into his stream recently. He's still going strong.
And over here on the right bottom side, a man that's representing Root OSC, it is Jig. And this is one of these things, Todd, that was already something that we were talking about pre-game. Jig opening up with a 12 pool, doesn't want to get cannon rushed. Who in his right mind would ever cannon rush a guy that opens up with a 12 pool?
printf.
No, not even printf.
Maybe.
I kind of wonder though what Jig's going to do. Maybe he's just going to make
if
like
there were to be
links.
one person that you would pick, it'd definitely be him, right?
But I do like... Wow, what?
Yeah.
No, you can't do this against the 12 pool?
Apparently you can.
Todd, there are 6 links about to pop. How is this ever going to work?
You just contradict yourself, bro. It's like in Katowice, when you say name one of the Terran that could have done this, and you were like, oh, actually, there is Maru, TY, and then you listed like 5. But in this case, I don't... It's not looking very good.
No, this is not going to work at all. This was a 12 pool, mate. These links are out so incredibly early. This gate is definitely going to have to get cancelled, otherwise he just won't do anything. And he's probably going to be forced to throw up a defensive cannon. That's a full wall.
Yeah. What does he break then to get out the forge?
Or he stays on one base. Or he's going to go for a proxy base, but that's not going to happen because the last probe has just fallen. You better cancel this.
I wonder if he had cannon, what would have been the follow-up if he had successfully cannon?
No, like I said, printf is not afraid to turn it into a macro game.
Yeah.
If he has to. What? He lets that gate finish?
It's a scouting gateway, mate. Look at how much vision he has here. There you go.
Some full NA magic over here in round 1 of the open bracket. I have no idea what I'm watching, but I'm totally okay with that. It just seems like this is a horrible position. Oh, maybe he wanted to get the cyber core up. I guess that's the only reason why he let it finish. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. At least he's going to be able to get a quick cyber core out. And now he's just going to play Skytles with no gateway units. So that's the one reason I assume that he let this finish up. Pretty bizarre, Todd. I'm shocked. See a robotics facility? No, up as well, and not some extra gateways. Overall, I think it's safe to say that this did not go the way that printf would have liked it to go. But Todd, he has a lot more experience in these situations than I do. So who am I?
Yeah, well, I don't know about experience here. If it's going to be of any help when you're on one base, most likely going to be doing an obvious all-in. I mean, what does he break in the wall again?
I don't think he's going to break anything. I think he's going to try to win on one base.
So 2 more gates or 3 more gates, just pure adepts.
Maybe
You might as well have gotten +1 then.
Yeah.
I'd have finished on time.
Maybe an Immortal and then...
No, actually, no, he wouldn't, because he needs to chrono boost on warp gates. Warp gates started so late. Which is strange, actually, because he had this gate a long time. I don't know.
Well, meanwhile, Jig is sitting very comfortably at 33 drones at the moment. He's just going to macro up a little bit. He's got very good map vision. Look at the map vision of Jig. I love it, Todd. He has a couple of links spread all around.
Yeah, but look at that gateway map vision. Now that's the real deal.
If I was Jig, I would never... You know what would be
This queen's taking 10 years to clean it.
Imagine if you didn't clean it, Warp Prism would fly over, power the
yeah,
gateway.
actually, that might have been the play that he was hoping for. Sadly, it's too late for it, I think, unless this queen's going to give up on that and they think it's a useless gate.
Well, Overlord speed is done, so Jig's going to get some nice vision in the main base here on printf. He's going to spot. Ooh, look at him.
Oh no, they walked past. They should have stayed there.
Now we see Roger being wiped in as well. Or morphed in.
Yeah, it might be a good time to start making just pure units here. You don't want to overdrone and die. Like, Jig already almost like, to some extent, overdroned, because he made like 44, which is kind of useless for against somebody on 2 base. Like 35 would have been enough, but to be fair, I still think he's okay, as long as he only makes units from there. And yeah, I don't see any drones. In production type, it's going to be Lynx in the first place, followed up by Roaches and Ravagers, I'm guessing, to make sure he can break the force fields. Because a ramp Sentry Prism could still steal this kind of game.
Yeah, but he's got too many units right now, right, to run into the main, or he can maybe do it from the low ground.
Yeah.
Spire being thrown down already. That's a pretty early Spire. I do like it, obviously, against the one-base Robo. But like Todd said, it is very important for Jig, the player that is representing Ruta OC, that he starts pumping out as many units as possible.
Yeah.
Because
I really don't like the Spire, by the way. I don't think he's going to change anything here because he's so far ahead, but just get Roach Ravager, then it's over. Once you get like 6 Ravagers, like this game is unlosable.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. I don't think that Jig is gonna like immediately rush out 3 or 4 Mutas. And the Spire is obviously not a cheap building, but he should be far enough ahead to just not straight up lose against it. Now suddenly I'm looking at this army, and I still don't think that printf can make this work. But this is still an army that you have to respect, especially with a couple sentries in there as well. You gotta be a little careful. But going up this ramp on Abyssal is always quite difficult.
Yeah, this is the moment where the army supplies are going to be the closest together here, I think, in this game. So it's time to go. 2 Ravagers are going to shoot Bile here down the ramp. He should take out the rocks, maybe.
Yeah, that would make his life a little bit easier, and I think he's exactly going to do that. He's hoping to get some vision with his adepts. He took down his forge dot, but he never expanded, which is also...
Yeah, it's just a 1 base. All the way. Stalkers, so I think he's gonna try to land force fields, trap a couple of units, kill them, and then like go for the kill after that.
Jig in general is a Zerg that always gets a silly amount of queens, whether he plays Link Banging or in this case Link Roach Ravager. He has taken out the rocks, so here we go. Oh, Warp Prism is going to take a lot of damage. Not the Warp Prism will fall immediately, and now Corrosive Val should be able to land in the middle of this Protoss army.
Yeah, that's really well done by Jing. Not targeting the force fields. He knows that all he has to do is chase this army back for a little bit, and like I said, once there is enough Ravagers, it's almost unwinnable there. And Jig takes game number 1. And we can go straight into, what do you think? Should we hold it? Potential Biohazard vis-a-vis round 2.
Well, it sounds
we can wait and see. You can talk with the ref real quick so it doesn't show on my screen, I guess, and on the stream.
All right, I'll let him know.
So Juggernaut Jason is going to be our player starting in the bottom right-hand side of the map. Playing as the blue Terran. His opponent in the red is QXC. We're already like well on the way. Is there game sound? Does it? Does the sound always go away? It's on, it's just very quiet, I guess.
I think it's quiet for us, but I think for the people at home, it should be more than fine. This is a very fun matchup, of course, for the people wondering, is this the QXC? Yes, it is. The QXC that's been around since, well, not only Brood War, but also StarCraft 2 2010. Yeah. One of the very few first Intel Extreme Masters. He was already there. He's been taking a little bit of a break. He's been working on his board game. Seen multiple Reddit threads about it. Never played it and don't know that much about it, but I'd love to give it a go one day. Because QXC, I cannot imagine that QXC would spend all this time and effort into a board game that is not good, Todd. Maybe one day you and I can play QXC's board game. I think that would be a beautiful, beautiful evening to remember.
I think it'd be really fun, unless I lost. Until I lost, because I would lose at some point for sure. QXC, one of the, I think, the most notable non-Korean players, not necessarily because, you know, he dominated tournaments and won a lot of them, but he all-killed MVP. Although it was Incredible Miracle, and then MVP was one of the players that he beat. That was crazy, actually, back then, because Incredible Miracle was considered to be, well, like, the best teams or one of the best teams, and he just all-killed them. And out of the blue, shot a Kamehameha, had them at his own little ceremony.
And it's pretty fun to see a new player that definitely, like, kind of entered the scene in, let's say, 2016, even though he's been playing a little bit longer, like Jason. Let's say, like, we got to know about him for like a year or two, go up against somebody like QXC that's just been around for 6-7 years already when it comes to the StarCraft 2 scene. I really wonder how Jason is going to do. For the people who don't know Jason, he's a Terran that hovers around 5,900 MMR. What QXC's MMR is right now, I have no idea. But obviously, it's still QXC. It's somebody with a lot of RTS experience.
It will be lower, I guess, than Jason.
Yeah.
Right?
It depends how many games he's played, but so far he's looking very good in this game. Yeah. Taking a commanding lead already.
It's not all about the MMR, man. The seniority plays a role, apparently, in StarCraft. I mean, being as experienced as QXC is definitely gonna help him get better quicker here in the current meta, even though, like, obviously, we would assume that he's at a longer break. Man, observing is pretty tough.
There was a time where you were very keen on casting and observing at the same time.
Sometimes. Necessarily. I think like back when I was pro, but I don't know, it was just like to catch, make sure I caught everything, because I feel like when I watch other people observe, I thought like not always everything would be caught, but I also didn't really understand the point of view of like not jumping all over the place, right? Because even if you watch Funka, like sometimes it might seem like he's not showing something, but he will always prioritize and have it in his mind, for example, and then he'll choose when to show it and if it's relevant enough. Because like that's what's showing, you know, right on the mainstream. So you can't really be jumping all over the place and showing like a small bailing detonation if there is the most epic fight happening in the middle. So it's all about prioritizing. I've learned more of that now.
You became older and wiser, Todd. Game number 2 is on the way for me, but nothing crazy has happened yet. So we can take a look at this game a little bit longer between QXC and Jason. As we see, Stim is on the way for both players. +1 is on the way. I like this army, and these 4 Cyclones represent a lot of HP and obviously quite a bit of DPS as well. It's really funny how Cyclones work, because there are moments where they are kind of useless, but there are some moments where Cyclones are just so incredibly powerful. If they can just get close enough and really unleash that DPS, it's a unit that has to be feared.
Look at them. Dipping their toes in the water, Roddy. Like us in Valencia.
Soon TM. Looking forward to that. It seems like Jason has recovered, at least worker-wise. It felt like he was done quite a few workers. These Cyclones were left unattended. Jason is going to stim forward and pick off all 4 of them. Wow. That's a little bit sloppy there by QXC. Perhaps we can see there that he is still a tiny bit out of it. That this is not the old QXC yet. And it's safe to say that Jason is totally back in this game now.
Yeah. Got a 3rd command center on the way.
I've got a bunch of cannons going up over here.
What do you want to do?
I think this TVT is probably going to go on for quite some time. So maybe we can take a look at my screen in the early phases.
Okay.
Because I think it's hard to break anyone that has a tank set up.
Yeah.
So maybe we can hop back into Jig versus printf.
This is the most hilarious chase. I'll steam right out of there.
So this time, the pool was quite a bit later, Todd. It wasn't as fast. And Jake is just going to go and follow it up with a Roach Warren, which does mean that he's going to get contained by these cannons over here from printf. Now, of course, he's not going to straight up die. These cannons are way too far away. They'll never make their way on creep.
But then that's when the Tempest will come out, right?
Well, printf is...
You think that could work? Or?
Tempest not, but maybe Void Rays or Oracles for sure. I think
why not Tempest? Because like the opponent by default will go for Ravagers. They're not supposed to shoot at Tempest, right?
No, unless you're a Snoot and you can kill carriers in Tempest. The problem is the DPS of Tempest is just way too low. A player like Jig is going to deal with Tempest with just Queens. Let's see how much time these cannons are going to be able to buy for printf. I can only imagine Todd that he's going to throw up a Stargate at home. If it's not a Stargate, I'd be quite shocked. He's going to proxy a Robo. Well, I'm shocked, Todd.
I guess like he wants to go for the full contained, Sentries and Immortal. Kind of like, I don't know why, but I call it the Arium. Well, I guess that's because at the DreamHack he had a very deep run, countering proxies and like one base plays, which just pure one base on his own, Immortal, Sentries and all that. Now the big game changer in Legacy of the Void is again the Ravager, which so far is doing pretty good.
Yeah, these cannons are all falling and they're taking a lot of damage. The other cannons are not done yet, and that means that this proxy...
He would have needed Mothership Core there to defend.
He just made it, but it's way too far away. It's all the way at home. I don't think he even cancelled this cannon. printf is still going to try to let this robotics facility finish, but that's, I think, a big mistake once again, because he's never going to be able to protect it. Yes, he doesn't cancel the robo. I don't get it, Todd. This feels like a massive overinvestment. He's never going to be able to get anything out of this robo.
He seems very stubborn. Like he stays the course no matter what.
Captain goes down with his ship, Todd.
Yeah, double Stargate. There you go.
Yeah, but
you wanted it, you got it. The Roddy double Stargate.
Okay, now there is finally an overcharge. We'll get a couple of hits.
Why is he running back? Yeah, he could have. Okay, well, he kills it anyway.
I mean, double Stargate. printf is still ahead worker-wise. Maybe he just really feels that if he gets a building there... Oh, he's going to kill the drone! No. Oh,
feels bad, man.
Jig too good. I mean, there's still a chance that maybe a couple of Oracles could do a lot of economic damage, but I just can't imagine a world where Jig will not at least get a Spore Crawler. If he doesn't know what's going on, he should definitely get a Spore. Silly game so far, Todd. Expected more of this series. We're going to see Phoenixes. Phoenix obviously not bad against a one-base Zerg, because the damage that Phoenixes can do, it's a lot more impactful if the Zerg has a bad economy, and that's definitely the case right now for Jig. Second hatch is very late. So if the Phoenixes are able to pick off 4 or 5 drones, that's massive, and they can help out defensively as well. What is printf going to do? Is he going to drop a Nexus there? It's kind of like a hidden Nexus. I'm a little confused, Todd, about a lot of the things we've seen. I think if he goes for a lift right now, he's not going to be able to kill it. Maybe if he lifts in range of Fulton Overcharge, at least he's not wasting energy on the Phoenixes.
Yeah, he's just being patient. I think that's okay as well. Eventually he'll go there and pick up some of these. What is that guy doing?
The very last
me, pick me.
I think he wants to kill the probe, or wants to see if there's a Nexus there. There isn't a Nexus there yet, but there is a worker that definitely wants to throw down a Nexus. There we have it. Jig is going to move forward. Has to be careful that he doesn't go in range of overcharge. Can these Phoenixes protect this Nexus? I think they can, Todd. With an extra Phoenix about to pop, lift the Ravager.
Yeah. That's the one gas base, by the way. Why this one?
Oh my god, he has to kill the Ravager. Oh my god, he messed up there with his Phoenix control.
Yeah, there's no pickups. Okay, there, finally.
He should be fine. He's going to be able to keep the Nexus alive, but you're right. This
okay, what do you think of Prince's situation there, from there? Lair starts now.
It's not the greatest, but it's also not the worst, because once again, Phoenixes can be very, very impactful on low eco games. And right now, Jig, he's on 36 drones, so he's starting to build an economy for himself, but he's absolutely going to lose a couple workers. That's inevitable. Even if you're Jig, you're going to lose some workers against 5, 6, 7 Phoenixes in this phase in the game when you don't have Hydras or a ridiculous amount of Queens. Yeah, of course we can take a look at your game, Todd.
I was talking to the producer.
But I'm answering for you.
Yeah, no. So we got QXC actually do like a 3-prong contain. Like he had some army here, and there. And he kept Jason at home for a long time. Across the map, Jason still tried to be aggressive, but QXC was like everywhere with Sensor Tower spotting everything. And now it just looks like he's going to be taking an earlier 4th base than his opponent. And he's still containing him. But Jason has been very patient. He's catching up on these upgrades where QXC was, he had to way ahead.
I love this thought. Instead of waiting 3 minutes until Terran was maxed out, we just watch some cannons die, we watch the robot die. We come back into your game and above at 200 supply. I'm like, nice!
Yeah.
This is the way I want to see some StarCraft.
We skip right to the important part, I guess. They're both so patient. I feel like if I was QXC, I would have tried to boost past there and like straight into the main or even down there. But there's only one Viking, but obviously I see everything, right? Like there could be a bunch of turrets there and then it would be harder.
You know what I'm shocked about, Todd? Jig is losing a crazy amount of overlords, and he's actually going for a Spire. So that's, I'm going to keep you guys posted on that, but I think the Spire is a very questionable decision against the Protoss that has this many Phoenixes, but I'll let you guys know what's up. Let's see if QXC is going to be able to break Jason over here on Odyssey.
He's just going to suffocate him, I think, if Jason doesn't try to make something happen soon, even though taking that bottom base, I think he's pretty good. I really need to turn on the busy mode. Let's see. Does he actually? No, he can't go into this. That base though, like, okay, no, never mind. That can't be dropped either. Look how many tanks there are. I guess that's what happens if like we almost get like a stalemate over there, like where both players are playing so well offensively and defensively that neither can really engage. By the way, QXC hasn't been taking the gases. Look, on the third base he never took them, and now on the fourth base he doesn't have them. Look at his economy.
Yeah, but he is maxed out, so maybe he just feels like...
Yeah, but he's going to need that. Like, that's the amount of gas he has right now. That is nothing.
No, that's true.
In the immortal words of Maynard. He's already super marine heavy. Okay, he's taking the 4 guys that I just talked about right now. Going to have a small engagement there. Oh my god.
Jason is 3-3 upgrades are quite a bit later, though. It would be awesome for QXC if he's going to be somehow able to find a window where he can fight with 3-3.
They both have 13 tanks, so evenly matched. Nobody's playing from his coffin yet. Jason engages. Yeah, there was not enough here for QXC because a lot of his army is up there. I'm surprised he's been so patient with this again, but like Jason is so ready for this. He's just waiting for it to happen.
I feel like you can see that QXC is still a great player, but he is, it feels like he's unfocused from time to time, right? Like he leaves a couple of units unattended, makes small overcommitments earlier with the Cyclones. Now again, we saw a couple of tanks being out of position. I mean, this game is still dead even, don't get me wrong. QXC has +3 now, so maybe this would be the moment. He could click on one of the Marines of Jason and see that Jason is still working with just 2 Marines.
But he can't attack into units like with so many tanks clumped up. Jason taking his own castles here where he needs them too. 2 and 2 here. Oh! Well, Jason is the one that attacks into QXC because QXC was unsieged.
Look at those Marine stuff.
Yeah, I guess he cleaned up in the first place, but now these tanks are going to be left alone. He should pick up and drop on top of them, but doesn't. Oh, that last one. Oh my god. Marine was sick. Look at the losses. So equal between these two.
A very close game indeed. I'm keeping a close eye on my game as well.
Yeah. Let us know if you want to switch.
Well, it's a very weird game. I mean, right now, Todd, I'm looking at my screen and I see a bunch of Corruptors dropping... I always forget the name. Contaminate? No, not Contaminate. Caustic Spray on the Nexus. And Jack just killed the Nexus with Caustic Spray. Alright, that happened.
Yeah, Phoenix is not the best unit against Corruptors. I think you know that very well.
I'm just shocked that... well, I'll focus on the TVT and we can give a summary of this game.
It's weird to talk about a game
people can't see. They're like, stop talking about the PvZ. I am surprised, though, to see this game going past the 17-minute mark.
To be fair, I don't think there's going to be like a massive engagement that will decide the game anytime soon. And I know I just jinxed it, so if a big engagement does happen in your game, just do not hesitate and we'll go over it. Oh my god, these tanks. Boom, boom, boom.
There is your big engagement, Todd. +3 still not done, though, for Jason. It is almost done, but look at QXC's Marines. They just have so much more firepower. And Jason, his army, just get cleaned up. While QXC is also securing a 5th base already for himself.
I can't believe these units have just been AFK there and forced that much to be there. And then QXC scans. He's like, no, no, no. No, no, no. I'm not going there anytime soon. You're going to keep this many tanks there for a long time. And he can't just out-expand him for the most part. But he's been a little bit slow maybe with that. Like that 5th base was taken very late given how many minerals he had. Oh, this is on the threat. Oh, he's just going to snipe it.
Yeah, he should be able to with all these tanks.
Here comes the base trade.
And Jason is out of position with his units mostly being in the middle of the map. Did QXC leave any units at home? Because Jason does have a lot of Marines there. Okay, he did leave quite a few.
They get scanned perfectly. Oh, that big boy behind a bunch of buildings. It's very hard for Jason to actually engage up these.
It actually seems like Jason is in quite a bit of trouble now. It feels like he has to make something happen, and perhaps he feels the same way. But a couple of Liberators are going to keep these tanks safe for now. Going to push Jason around. Meanwhile, Jason, of course, is going to end up losing this planetary, especially if he's not repairing it, which he wasn't. There we go. Jason ends up losing his pretty important 5th base.
Did he try to? No, he didn't drop a Marine. I thought he was going to drop a Marine, but like, there was no point. He was already attacking it anyway. Coming in from multiple angles here. Jason looking to try and clean up. That might be the cue for QXE to check there if there are still units and maybe drop on top of them. Because now I do think he could break that position if he drop on top of these tanks.
The biggest problem for Jason is that he's super broke now, right now, Todd. He doesn't have a 5th base and he just ended up losing his
But they've got
fort.
the same supplies. Look at it. Look at the resources lost. How close it is. This guy's trading blow for blow.
But QXE seems a lot richer, and I think that's a pretty big problem for Jason, who needs to establish a fort. He does clean up more tanks, though.
Wow. Yeah, he can't clean up this army here. There's, I mean, look at the amount of Marines and tanks.
Maybe it's time for QXE to bring some of those units home that he left on the other side of the map.
Just counter-attack, kill these, then go for the main, or go directly in the main base. There's not that much anti-air here. Jason is cleaning up.
I think QXE is in a lot of trouble, Todd. He really needs to bring those units home. QXE is building 3 tanks at a time, and he's going to bring these tanks. One of the tanks is like stuck or left behind. As my series just ended, and Jig did take the 2-0 victory over printf. I'll give you guys a summary of that game later on. But Jason,
you can rewind that.
Looking for the kill. That is right, Todd. But there wasn't really one moment. That's okay.
Man, Jason is just powering through here. QXE trying to get as many units out as he can. He has one more expo, but it doesn't seem like he's able to get enough units here to clean this up just yet. Coming in from behind now with this, might be able to do it, but he's already lost so much, and Jason taking a huge supply lead here, showing that the new school is there and alive.
That Orbital taking a lot of damage could potentially fall against this Vikings. QC picked up his Marine start. He's going to drop on top of these tanks. Not just Marines, a couple of tanks as well. But is it going to be enough for our old school Terran? Yes, it is for now. How much does Jason have left? 98 army supply against 77. But the problem for Jason, I feel, is still that economically, he's been in a very rough spot. That tank is stuck with something. I don't know what's up with that tank. It shouldn't be stuck there, though, right?
I don't think he should.
Like, how else did it get there in the first? Well, maybe
like through.
Oh no, it can. Yeah, it can only go through the middle, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe, and
he doesn't want to go to the Liberators.
He's like, I'll guard that base with my life.
Wow, look at this army of Jason. It seems like the numbers are overwhelming for a young Canadian Terran. He's gonna pick up a few more of these Marines.
Might as well, yeah. He's gonna send the SCVs to their death. A couple of tanks are behind this actually. QXE, can he hold? It almost feels like the Marines are better upgraded from Jason, but the same upgrades. I guess he was more grouped up here.
Wow. Unsieging those tanks when he killed the planetary, I think that was the biggest mistake. When Jason switched that army and was able to clean it up without really losing anything.
And QXE with the pre-GG scans here. He's gonna see that he's in too much trouble and tap out for now.
Well, that was a fun game.
Yeah.
My game just ended, guys, and I'm also getting ready to hop into the next game, so we don't have a rewind. But just to give you guys the TLDR, Jig replied to all those Phoenixes with Corruptors, which I thought was kind of surprising, because his economy wasn't that great. Like, I think Corruptors can be very good against Phoenixes, but as a Zerg, you kind of need at least 3 up and running bases, and maybe a 4th on the way. He didn't have that, but printf never got a fleet beacon, which was obviously hard, because he was only on 3 gases.
Yeah.
And he never got +1 air weapon, so the Corruptors started to do very well. Even though those Phoenixes did do some serious work. They killed almost 10 Overlords, and it felt like things were going printf's way, but the Corruptors just started using caustic spray, took down 2 Nexi, and from that point on, you know, it just felt that Jig was in control. He was always 30, 40 supply up. And there was also one crucial moment earlier in the game where the Phoenixes were busy harassing and killing all the Overlords. Jig somehow sent a couple of roaches to the other side of the map, and there was nothing protecting the probes. So those roaches that should have technically done nothing were actually able to kill like 10, 15 probes. And that really hurts as a Protoss if you're on like 25 workers, or as any race, but especially as Protoss, I think. So unfortunately for printf, he was never able to get it going. But good job there by Jig, who's moving on. Jig thought definitely one of the guys today that I think could potentially go all the way and maybe qualify for Challenger.
Yeah, he's really good. Well, what game are you going to join next?
I am joining a Willow versus BioIce.
Okay.
Some ZVT. I like it.
Okay, I'm trying to pick a game from the next round that I'll join. That's why I was asking. I'm going to let them know that I'm ready when they are.
first map of my series is going to be played on Abyssal. Do you want to focus mostly on my series or mostly on the game 2 of QXC versus Jason?
I didn't hear anything.
Okay. Do you have any preference which series we should show mostly? Or maybe we can just show
From
yours.
round 2?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean right now?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we already showed a little bit of this. Again, like, it depends on how much is happening. We should try to avoid switching back and forth too much, even though, like, the super hardcore fans, I feel like, will more... You know, prefer more, like, going back and forth, but...
You know what it reminds me of, Todd? In America, they have the NFL Red Zone. And there's like 8 games going on at the same time, and they just jump. Whenever there is
on one game?
Yeah.
Like on one channel?
That's like the multi-game channel. And it's really fun. Whenever I watch the NFL, I prefer the Red Zone channel. So I can just see the scoring plays over and over again. It's like,
do they banter around the whole bunch as well?
No, it's more like just update, update, update. You know, it's like, all right, here in Pittsburgh, touchdown. All right, let's switch back over to Atlanta, touchdown.
But they can go back a little bit, right? And like show the replay.
Sometimes if there is something happening at both times, and obviously they show one game and then they show the next. It's really cool. All right, anyways, game 2 is live for Todd. Jason versus QXC, so we can go ahead and hop into that game that is being played on, surprise, surprise, Abyssal Reef.
Your favorite map?
It is a good map, though. It is a
From the current map pool, it's probably your favorite, no?
Let me think real quick.
Don't tell me Odyssey. Well, just for the tile. We don't care about the map or balance.
No, let's be. I think
Abyssal Reef.
Abyssal is the best map, but I still prefer some of the newer maps just to play on. I like Ascension. Ascension to Ire is not bad. You know, one of the main reasons why I love Ascension, Todd, there's only one entrance into the main for a Reaper. So that's the one map where I don't lose a probe against the first Reaper. And I love it.
That's what I think, but then I still lose that probe. God. Can we please get 0 entrance? Just put rocks everywhere.
Make it an island, you know. That is the one map where I won't lose my first probe against Beyond's Reaper.
And then somehow they fly racks in. It's like, oh, I'm done. I'm done.
Yes. If that would happen, I'd be literally done. Obviously, my game has started as well, guys, but hopefully that's going to be a long game, so you guys won't miss too much of it. For now, let's see if the old school player QXC, spawning in the right bottom side, can bring it back against the Juggernaut, Jason himself, spawning on the left top side.
It's funny because like Juggernaut Jason, I feel like it's like one of those nicknames that should sound kind of silly, and like, you know, you would take when you're really young and stuff. You're like, yeah, I'm Juggernaut Jason. But then somehow he does sound kind of cool. I have mixed feelings about it.
No, I don't. I love Juggernaut Jason, and I love his stream as well. He's got some.
No, I mean just his nickname, you know, not him.
Yeah. But I can see his nickname without seeing his face, and his face brings me pleasure, though. Got a little bit of a Reaper war going on over here. QXC gets that kill. That's pretty big, Todd, because there's not a single unit on the way.
Yeah, we were just talking about it. And there's that exit, which he doesn't need right now. Yeah, there's not going to be any unit out for a while, and he has managed to dodge every single damage from these SCVs too. So that guy's regenerating easily.
And that's a fantastic start here for QXC and a horrible start for Jason. Pretty sick that QXC was able to get the kill while there were 2 SCVs helping out the Reaper of Jason as well. Jason has had enough, and he's like, you know what? I'm just going to start repairing the SCVs that are being shot at.
He lost a lot of mining time. He lost some SCV. How much did he lose? 1 SCV, 1 Reaper.
I felt that was going to be worse. So actually pretty well done there by Jason.
Boom. KDA charge is such a funny thing.
Ooh, the orbital not started yet for QXC. Do you think that's a mistake?
Yeah, he was microing, man. Do you know what happens when I micro my first 2 adepts? I go home, I have 1,500 minerals, man. Come on, this is not so bad.
Yeah,
delay.
I hate the moment where sometimes you run with a couple stalkers across the map and you're microing your heart out and it looks like you're doing fantastic, but then you're stuck at 1 gate and no tech against the Terran, and the Widowmine drop is on your way. You're like, well, I killed 7 Marines, but I'm in a lot of trouble. I've got no detection.
That guy.
The entire mineral line is hurt. That 1 Reaper.
Yeah, actually, if he does a follow-up, like Widowmine or Marine drop of some sort.
Do you know what that Reaper reminds me of, Todd? Of Apollo in Cologne. He left a trail of destruction.
What? That was in Paris.
Yeah, well, there too. All these damaged SCVs that trusted the Reaper.
Somebody needs to clip that. Send him.
Cyclone is almost out for Jason, who's down a couple workers. I wouldn't say that he's like incredibly far behind but he's definitely having to fight a small uphill battle. And because he had to worry so much about the Reaper Todd, I'm not sure if he's going to have an answer to these two Cyclones. His units are out of position. Jason wants to harass with his Cyclones. If I was him, I'd definitely turn around, because if he doesn't turn around, Todd, he's about to lose everything. Jason is in a lot of trouble now. Those Cyclones being out of position was horrible.
Yeah, he's going to counter drop, try to even that damage and evacuate the natural base, but that command center. Oh, he's going to get chased down.
Cyclone are going to lock on as well. The Orbital's taking a lot of damage. He needs to bring some SCVs over to repair it. There is high ground vision as well because of that Medevac. I think it's going to fall. Well, the new lock-on ability doesn't do that much damage. Jason saves it. How much is he doing on the other side of the map? Is it anything worth mentioning?
Nothing.
Wow, that was... Okay, now it's getting really bad. He had a rough start, but now this game is turning into a disaster for Jason.
Yeah, QX is cleaning up here quite easily. The tank finally is going to come out, but he's going to be targeted immediately. Oh my god, he waited all that time to finally get that, thinking it was going to help him clean up. And QXC, just like that, is killing a ton of units here.
I think this game is almost over, unless these two Cyclones are going to be able to save the day. Jason will be able to re-establish his natural, but...
Wow, even that escapes.
Sixth workers down, lost a lot of mining time. Behind in tech, obviously, quite a bit.
Yeah.
Very rough game.
You know, like, by the way, for that TVT, we were showing the exact right amount of, you know, Protoss versus Zerg, then jumped into it when they were maxed out. I feel like for Avilo, now we should take maybe like 30 minutes, you know, like just maybe even show the third game of this and then go into his game, because that's when it really starts, right?
Well, I can tell you guys that Avilo is making it happen. There's an armory halfway done, and there is Blue Flame being researched.
If there's a big attack about to happen, if you want, we can jump.
We can maybe take a look at the Blue Flame Hellion arrest real quick. If our producer is, yeah, he's paying attention.
He's on point.
He is on point. So this is pretty much the first real attack that's happened in this game. See a couple of Hellions. They got a couple Zergling kills, but that's about it. BioWise is a very strong North American Zerg. For the people that are unfamiliar with BioWise, he's someone that's been around for a long time, has never been like on top of the North American scene, but he's always high up on the ladder, always top 25, top 30 GM. Definitely a player to be respected and a player that could qualify for WCS Challenger on a good day.
He has a very Polish name. His name is Jackson Robluski.
Yes.
Anything that ends with ski for me is like automatic Polish.
Nah, you're right. So this is definitely a very tough matchup for Avilo in round 2. But let's see if he's going to be able to make the magic or the mech happen. As a couple of Hellions have been picked off by these queens. At home, we see Avilo's macroing up. I don't think I'm going to see anything crazy happen anytime soon.
I think you actually may be about to end things here.
Yeah, we can take a look at your game, because this game is going to take a while. Well,
he just put a tank. I can show you quickly. He just put a tank there, siege there. Jason didn't have enough and then just had to tap out. So we get the equalizer here in that series.
Jason was just too far behind, right? We showed everything that made him be that far behind. So we can take a closer look at this game. Round 2. Round of 32 over here in the North American Open Qualifier. WCS Valencia. Avilo against BioWise. Taking a look at the production tab will tell you all that you need to know. Drilling claws on the way, +1 vehicle weapons on the way. We're going to see perhaps a Widow Mine drop here, but there is a Spore Crawler, so this is actually going to be hard for Avilo to pull this one off. One mine is going to be able to shoot at the Queen, won't do that much damage. Is he going to be able to make something happen in the main? Banelings. Okay, at least he got 3 Banes there. The Medevac does fall as well, though. So that's not the greatest drop ever. But obviously it's going to be hard to drop against the Zerg that has this many Queens, has Vision, has a Spore Crawler. At least Avilo is buying some time for his production to kick in, as he has all these factories that just finished up. And we see the first stores being produced. But he's floating over his third orbital by the time that BioWise's fourth hatchery is done. So it's safe to say that Avilo is going to need a very, very strong defensive setup. A lot of tanks, maybe a couple mines here and there. Sensor tower would be incredibly useful, because the swarm Todd is coming in all its glory. And it's always hard to defend against that.
And who better than Avilo to sit back and try to hold on?
Well, he's going to try to hold the line. 5th base already going up for BioWise. So Avilo is trying to find an opening with his Hellions, but so far BioWise is not doing much. He's sitting back, he's defending. He's basically playing racquetball right now, Todd. Like in the old days in Rancho Cucamonga, how we used to do it. Just
what, racquetball?
Yeah, you never played it when we lived with Bitter?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. It was Fuser.
You would have remembered if you played me on racquetball. Kappa.
You basically just slap the ball back, and that's kind of what BioWise is doing. Everything that's coming his way, He just slaps it back, and now his economy is where he wants it to be. 76 drones, Vipers already on the way. 8 minutes and 26 seconds, Todd. It's a pretty quick Viper.
Looking already into round 3 matches to do.
Oh, that's awesome.
Staying ahead of the meta.
Hey, did we see Mechanic playing? We didn't, right? Is Mechanic not in the bracket today?
Oh, he is.
Oh, okay. I was very worried. If Mechanic wasn't in, I'd be sad. Because I think that my boy Mechanic...
He's playing Creature right now, and then booked his game actually next. If he wins against Creature, he'll play Jig or Graphics.
Oh, that's a great game. But Creature is also pretty good. Successful arrest here by Avillo. That Widowmine was able to do quite a bit of damage. A couple of drones went down to those Hellions as well. So that's nice for Avillo. Finally finds something that he can sort of work with. There's another Widowmine here. But the Vipers are out already. Jig is going to replace those 9 drones that he lost, BioWise, with 15 additional drones. As Avillo does it with his first Sensitile Rob. But I said it, the Swarm, it's going to come. And with Vipers, Roaches, Ravagers. I don't know if we have Hydralisk on the map. Yeah, we have 3. There are 3 Hydras.
Vipers, they're a little bit of Avillo's kryptonite, right, with his style.
Yeah, it's really hard to deal with it.
He's talked extensively about them.
Basically, what Avillo needs is to secure this fort base. That's going to be very hard, and then perhaps...
Turrets would be good, right?
Yeah.
If he gets the couple at the front, tanks behind, well spread out so that blinding clouds don't land on too many of them. And then even in the case of Abduct, actually. It's funny how there is a Thor, like that guy is like waiting to get abducted, but then the tanks might still be able to shoot if they're within range.
There are 2 Thors here in the mix.
Widowmine's actually dangerous with this.
Yeah, that Planetary is going to finish up. Avillo does have a real army. He's on 92 army supply. Can he hold here against the first real attack of BioWise? Seems like BioWise is kind of scared and intimidated by this mech army of Avillo.
Did he get a Viper? No, he didn't.
Is anything going to get abducted? No?
Hey, look at his Vikings. He abducts, actually he abducts what he can here, realizing that he can't be too picky. The Widowmines are perfectly in range to blow up if the Vipers go too far forward.
Excellent hold here by Avillo. Very well done. Position his units right and had some good focus fire on those Vikings.
6 more Vipers? Oh, that's 5. That's still a lot. Oh my god.
9 Vipers. It's going to go crazy. You're going to be careful against those mines with drilling claws.
So if you go with a lot of Hydralisks like this, not many Roaches and pure Vipers, basically you're just looking to abduct everything all the time and get better trades consistently.
Trying to abduct one by one, and it really hurts if the Terran is only on 3 bases. But Avillo secured his port base. Tanks are able to get a couple of shots off on these Roaches. A few more units are going to go down. Seems like BioWise is just waiting for his Vipers to show up, get some more energy. There we go. 1 tank does get abducted. A few Vikings are going to get abducted over here as well. And a Tor. But Avillo, Todd, has taken the supply lead for the first time in this game.
I'm looking at it, and he's doing really well here with this.
Yeah.
Attacking against however many Vipers there's going to be, though. On creep, he's going to be the tricky part, and BioWise is staying ahead of things and making these Evo chambers. He might want to stop eating the hatchery, but I guess if the Terran army does find itself in his place, he still would be in quite a bit of trouble anyway. And Avillo, it looks like he wants to attack here with it.
He does. Actually, he has plus.
Is there any overseers? Oh, like, there is 1, right?
Because
like, I feel like in his boards, that guy dies. Those Widowmines, they are going to be golden there.
Yeah, and it's very possible that it dies against all these Vikings as well. 1 Viking does get abducted. Tanks are a little bit too far away.
Yeah, but then there's not going to be many abducts. Or even blinding clouds here. That's why he made this many Vipers here, to make sure that he had more and more. But look at this now. He needs to absorb energy ASAP. That's the timing for Avillo where he could go forward, but he's trying to still remax behind this because he lost a bunch of units.
Yeah, he lost most of his Vikings as well, and he's a little bit worried about that one. Avillo throws down a scan. We'll see that these Vipers are leeching of these Evo chambers that only served 1 purpose, and that is giving these Vipers more and more and more energy. Widowmine's moving forward. Oh, you gotta be careful with those Vipers. I mean, it kind of feels like this is Avillo's moment, right? To slowly but steady.
Oh, that guy, I called it. They abduct from really far, actually.
I like the whole position micro by BioWise, making sure that this army doesn't
Oh, they're getting the Widowmines. If you can clean the front line of Widowmines, all the rest is going to be a lot more exposed. Yeah, right now, Avillo is losing a lot of units in non-cost-effective way. Like, after the initial holds, so far, this big push he went for is not been working.
You can't really fault him, though, against all those Vipers. It's kind of hard to play against this. He's waiting for his opening.
And BioWise is rich, by the way, behind this. Even if he loses this army, he can remake it easily, whereas Avillo, he's been losing very expensive units that he's having a hard time. Replace 2 more starports. It's time to say that the Vipers here are too much and go into Ravens, I guess.
if a villain would ever be able to get like 5, 6, 7 Ravens out, that could be good. He's going to try to make a move on this hatchery that is sitting there at 12 o'clock. And that would be a nice base to snipe, because that is the latest base. Those Vipers are a little bit exposed. Maybe
Vikings.
Vikings.
Tanks to side there.
Vikings? Vikings sleeping on the job. I felt like they could have killed a Viper or two.
Oh, the tanks are super clumped up. Blinding Clouds could be huge here. Still so many abducts going down, and BioIce being super patient, maybe a little too patient here. He was in hold position within range of these tanks.
Let's take a look at the larva. He's got 20 larva saved up. Yeah, he's been incredibly patient, like you said. Pretty much the only fight that BioIce has taken is just pulling units in one by one, and other than that, he's just sitting there at hold position.
Avilo should hide Widow Mines under some of his tanks at the front. Like those two at the bottom. Imagine you put a bunch of Widow Mines under that. And then BioIce missed them. Those could land big time, but still against a whole lot of range units and Vipers that are still looking to abduct from afar. That one running away. Come back here. Where are you going?
Those 4 mines that get picked up, but at least Avilo got the hatchery, so this push wasn't for nothing. But it's safe to say that he needs to get more, but he's going to end up losing a couple of tanks. BioIce still just having his entire army at hold position. He's basically not even microing his main army. Puts it on hold position, and the only thing that BioIce is controlling are all these Vipers. He's still sitting at 8 Vipers at the moment. He's making 5 more thought. He's going into 13 Vipers. Ridiculous.
I guess he realized that Avilo was trying to push through the lack of energy of Vipers. When they have oh my god, so many abducts are going to go down once again, cleaning up all those Vikings. And Avilo is not using the additional starports to get Ravens. He's just getting more and more Vikings. Knowing that the initial ones are going to get abducted, he's like, well, I'll overwhelm your crazy amount of Vipers. It's crazy, like the level of meta that we've reached here with this mech style that Avilo has truly mastered.
But BioIce is about to go into 17 Vipers. And that is probably the most amount of Vipers I've ever seen.
And Avilo will raise that with more Vikings.
Well, a couple of Vikings and one medevac do get abducted. They all get picked up very quickly.
There's not that many tanks, to be fair. Like, it's still a scary amount. But imagine if he made a bunch of roaches, then instead he might have been able to just engage and clean up with some good spread out. Still looking to try and do that mass Viper thing. That poor Evo Chamber, man.
Avilo is getting his 5th base up during all of this, and if he does successfully get that base up and running, then it's
a terrible position, by the way.
For BioIce?
Yeah.
Man, he's putting in so many units, but I must say Avilo's doing a really good job in reinforcing this push. Now, finally, a lot of units do get abducted, but if this base falls too, I mean, this base is still relatively fresh, and obviously during all the madness, BioIce has secured the base over here on the left bottom side. But I like how persistent Avilo is with this push. It's like, yes, he's been losing a lot of units to abduct.
Oh, the Widow Mine! Oh my god, Widow Mine's chasing
sick.
Vipers. What is going on?
That would have been sick. I mean, I've seen Widow Mines run on the carriers and blow them up. So Avilo gets another hatchery. That is nice. And he's still maxed out. Avilo's macro has been excellent this game, Todd.
Yeah, not only is he pushing, at the same time he makes sure he's getting enough units, plus 3 vehicle weapons on the way here for our Terran player. He could have slow pushed the natural from the low ground, but it seems like he wants to go up there. He wants to go for the most important base, actually.
Hey, I think the one right there. I think that BioIce needs to get more Evo chambers, man. I feel like he's running out of buildings that he can abduct from, or leech energy from, especially.
He still has quite a few minerals.
Wow. If Avilo can take this base out, then this base should be relatively easy to kill. He could truly start starving BioIce. This is pretty bizarre mech play. Oh, parasitic bomb being used on one of those Vikings.
He sent away.
I think that BioIce, it's time that he starts using his roaches and Hydra start, because he was very rich, but when he ends up losing this base as well, then he's basically, the only thing that he has is money for is like half a remax, not more than that. And meanwhile, Avilo is just not having to worry about anything on his side of the map. He's very comfortably mining of this base over here on the right top side as well. This is bizarre. Avilo, it seems like he doesn't care how many units he loses to abduct. He's killing these bases. And believe me, I kind of feel like it's starting to work. I mean, BioIce does have a very scary army, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
146 supply. But slowly but steady, Avilo is really making this work. Avilo doesn't know about this base at 9 o'clock. If he would know about that one, then BioIce is pretty much broke. There are no minerals left in his first 3 bases. He's moving forward again, this time with the Widow Mines as well. And BioIce's roaches and Hydras just refuse to engage.
That is so many Widow Mines. Oh my god, look at this. They're all together. The Bermuda Triangle, Roddy.
He's got 20 Widow Mines on the map, Todd. At this game, Todd, I really think it's about to come to its conclusion. Okay, BioIce is taking the base at like 7 o'clock now as well. If Avilo would only scout this and send maybe a couple of Hellions, even though there are some spines, but just to deny the mining a little bit of that base, as this hatch is going to fall as well, BioIce is in trouble. And Avilo Villa has been losing a crazy amount of expensive units, like 35 mines, 56 Vikings, and 19 tanks. But it doesn't stop him. He's just moving forward. And it's actually sort of working. I really think it's sort of working. If only he would know about the base at
these
9.
ducks actually were kind of bad here just now. They didn't even kill the units. And at these points, this push looks unstoppable. I mean, I look at this army. If I had the Zerg army, I'd be like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to lose everything in a couple shots from these tanks.
Villa needs to scout this base. He's been doing so well. I really like the way that he's been executing his push. Even if he's been losing a lot of units, like it wasn't for nothing. He's taken out 3 bases, and those were 3 very important bases for BioWise. And Villa just needs to scout the base at 9. And if he's able to do something about that base, and maybe eventually about the one at 7, but there are no drones here, so it's not that important. To be honest, this base doesn't even have that many drones either. The income right now is not looking all that good for BioWise, but he does have a ridiculous amount of Vipers. And he's going to abduct more and more and more units. It almost makes no sense for a Villa to still be here, because killing this hedge doesn't really do much for him. He's not transitioning though, it's just tanks, Vikings, and mines. Seems like BioWise has had enough. For a split second, it looked like he had enough. Tanks are able to do a little bit of damage as well. More abducts being used. A ridiculous amount of abducts have been used in this game.
Yeah, BioWise is running out of steam here at this point. I think he maybe been struggling a little bit with the injects. I'm not sure if he was lacking queens, but there were times where he had like not enough lava and a lot of minerals. And now he's running out of gas as well. Whereas Avilo's economy is completely untouched. Matter of fact, he could still expand a whole lot more. Yeah, there we go. Quite easily. It's going to go completely uncontested. BioWise doesn't have the luxury of going across the map right now and counter-attacking.
Nope. But Avila really needs to start pushing the one base that Meta started, and that's the base over here on the south side.
You know what this army would be really bad against? Mass links. If they came in, they detonated the window mines and then cleaned up, but he doesn't have the economy anymore. Like he would need, it will need to be a completely different game, basically. From there.
I feel like these drones are now revealing that BioWise has the base. I think Avila finally threw down a scan. He has scouted the base, but he's going to ignore it for now. He's going to try to kill a couple of these overlords and maybe cut off some of the reinforcements as well. Avila is going to go for the Juggernaut Thought. He's going to go for the main. Might be able to kill the Hive, kill the Spire, kill the spawning pool. And I don't think that BioWise can let this happen, but BioWise used to be very rich, used to be maxed out. Now he's at 127 supply, and he's about to lose his main. I think Avilo's making this,
now he's broke as a joke. Nobody's calling him anymore. All his real friends are the only ones still around, and it's only 2 of them. And BioWise maybe on these last few moments here in this game as Avilo, looks like he played a solid game. Yeah. That was pretty impressive. Like that was not like the the typical sit back, mech, do nothing. No. That was like action packed, at the same time solid macro and very good mech army movement, I have to say.
Yep, I totally agree. Yeah, I gotta give credit where credit is due, and this was really well executed by Avilo. He lost a lot of units, but that didn't stop him. He had great macro behind it, kept rallying everything he had across the map, and he took out important base after important base. And it's safe to say that BioWise, well, okay, Avila scouts this base now as well, throws on his cannon. He will see that this base has been up and running for a tiny bit. Can Avila do something about these last 2 bases? He's still maxed out at 120 supply. And BioWise doesn't have much left out. It's like 3 Roaches and 21 Hydras. That's about it. A couple of Blue Flame Hellions are being annoying over here as well, taking out a couple of these last drones. If BioWise ends up losing these 2 bases, it's absolutely 100% over after losing his entire main as well. So it's going to be hard to replace them. He has to be very careful with his Vipers because he doesn't have a Hive anymore.
Yeah, and that video can re-expand still. Like he could even fly. Where did he move his orbitals? He still has the one in the main, or?
Yep.
Yeah, he could have moved that, but I guess he wants to get PF. Prove a point. Playing with his food at this point.
He's macking that. There is no mech without PFs. These mines getting forward as well. Really love the use of the drilling claws. They're going to be able to connect with a couple of these roaches. Just going to be careful with your Vikings. In the end, only a speed.
Look at that hedge.
Hey, BioWise could potentially run out of buildings as well. Gotta be careful about that.
A lot of them are bleeding out. He's just got that one base on the left that he's going to cover. He's still, man, it's like he's facing a clock that's never going to end. But somehow buying himself time as much as he can all the time.
Oh, there's a ghost dot.
Oh, he landed some EMPs.
Yeah, the random ghost suddenly showed up out of nowhere. I was like, hey, how cool, there is a ghost. That was the only ghost out there, but it landed a very good EMP. And that means that BioWise is even in more trouble now. He's going to pull the drones. I'm not sure. So he's going to sacrifice his base, but he has nowhere else to go. I mean, I think this game is over. I think Avilo is going to take a 1-0 lead here over BioEyes, which, you know, honestly is very impressive because BioEyes is an excellent Zerg player in the North American scene. These drones are about to run into their death. What a game, Todd.
Yeah.
Who said Mac is dead?
Didn't Nathaniel say?
The spawning pools are going up as well. BioEyes is going to try to make something happen. I really think that BioEyes just let Avilo expand too freely. And Avilo was able to take base after base. And the moment he was able to get his fourth base up, he started pushing, and he never stopped. Avilo has basically been pushing for 24, well not 24, but basically for like 14 minutes. That's a good blinding cloud, but I mean these tanks, the numbers are overwhelming. There's just not enough height of us. The Vikings are gonna land as well. A couple of mules being dropped. GG. Avilo takes the 1-0 lead, Todd.
Yeah, and we can go straight into the TVT that we've got going on over there. It's been crazy. That game was insane. Like QXT opened with one gas and went for an earlier command center than Jason. Jason double gas, tried to apply some pressure. QXT got really far ahead. At some point, he was maxed out against Jason's 160. But somehow the soup did lie this time, and Jason really climbed back up in this game. He took a great fight here just now by sending a few forces there, fighting QXT and sieging everything there. And then QXT came up there and basically lost a lot instantly. And again, like Jason, he's regained momentum here. Look, he's sieging that PF, forcing QXT to come here and siege as well. I feel like this is a crazy game.
Yeah, I feel like today the games are pretty epic. We're only in the round of 32, guys. We're just starting. I mean, this is one of the very first matches for both Jason and QXT. And it seems like they're battling their hearts out. Actually, this was the first round matchup, right? Yeah.
No, second round, I think, no? Oh, yeah, it could be.
No, because it started at the same time as printf
That's going to slow down the
Jig.
bracket forever, man.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens, right, when you have a TVT between two pretty evenly matched players.
Yeah. Look at the minimap, man. All these tensile towers. Can you imagine that triangle over there? Line.
So what do you think QXT's options are here? Just hang in there, right? He's technically up in supply.
He needs to try to counter somewhere, like, I don't, at that base somehow, I don't know why he's evacuating, actually. There's only one tank shooting, that's fine, just repair. QXT, I have to say, one thing that he's done really well in this series, compared to Jason a lot of the time, is making STVs more consistently. Oh my god, he's gonna go and clean up.
He's had enough, Todd. He's gonna just clean up these tanks like it's absolutely nothing. The resources lost, pretty dead even. What a slugfest. 212 Marines dead on the side of QXT, 179 for Jason, who does have a lot of additional units rallying.
Jason, he did it in Q3-3, by the way.
Yeah, I just noticed that as well.
He's still somehow doing well, given the circumstances.
Well, that's not going to last for a long time, though. I have seen enough TVTs in my life with Nate. And Nate kept on going about how important those upgrades are. And Todd, as the Farseer once upon a time said, seeing is believing. And I've seen a lot of Terrans with 2-2 die. So I believe those words.
Has there ever been a game where one of them won with 2-2?
I mean, of course, if you're like incredibly far ahead or if you have like just 3 bases more, but when it's dead even, it's incredibly rare.
Yeah.
Because Marines shoot so fast. So upgrades are incredibly important. Like it's already important for roaches, and then just take into consideration that Marines shoot like 3 times as fast with stim than roaches do. As Jason's going to stim forward, he's going to pick up these tanks as well.
They're coming from behind. Oh my god, the tanks are already going to siege. Woohoo! Some sick shells there.
This military is taking a lot of damage. QXT is stimming in from all angles. That seems like a pretty beautiful engagement, Todd, and he's going to be able to clean this up like it's nothing.
Yeah, Jason even evacuates with this shooting, not to trade, seeing that there was going to be too much.
Jason, like you said, he's just not taking the gases, right? Or did he take his gas in this game? Well, he's not mining of that refinery, and he doesn't have gases there. Like, he needs gas to start his upgrades.
Sure now. Like 150 gas income is way too low.
He has a refinery that he doesn't have any SCVs on. But that's, I think, the biggest problem. That's why he's not starting his 3-3 upgrades, because he just doesn't have the required amount of gas.
Oh my god! Those last few Marines left behind.
I think Jason is in trouble, man.
I feel like I'm watching Brood War game. Look at this line of tanks. It's like building the Great Wall of China with tanks over there.
Or soon, a StarCraft remastered game, Todd. Are you pumped?
Yeah.
What race are you going to play?
Terran.
Yeah, you're gonna be like, no.
I was Terran in Brood War.
You're betraying the Protoss Brotherhood? Wow.
I'm tired of playing the weakest race, bro.
I can't believe it.
Hashtag triggering everybody.
I can't believe it. Todd is gonna play Terran. I was actually thinking about playing Zerg, but
yeah?
Yeah, but I think I'm just gonna play Protoss. I don't know. After 7 years of Protoss, I feel like I have connected.
I mean, it's a different game.
I have connected
right?
a bond.
Yeah?
Doesn't matter if it's a different
You're
game.
bound by the color.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't just betray my race. Ooh, Jason gotta be careful there. QXC with a pretty ballsy stim though. As soon as those tanks siege up, QXC realized those tanks can actually reach the mineral line, correct, from the low ground easily. But QXC has a couple tanks there as well, so he should be able to prevent that.
Yeah, that's what he's preventing. Oh my god. That's not siege. Oh, and it's moving there as well.
That's bad.
Oh, if he had been siege, that would have been fine. He could have just maybe steam killed that.
He's gonna lose his sensitizer now. I love these TVT stuff. It looks so scrappy right there. Look at the minimap. There's stuff blinking left and right. Multiple fights happen at the same time. I'm sure, knowing QXC, that he's really enjoying these games.
Yeah.
This is always the type of StarCraft that QXC wanted to play.
He's gonna do another one of his blocks. How about this maybe?
Jason is gonna end up losing one more tank. I think Jason is in a lot of trouble. If he loses that base, doesn't have that much mining left.
How did he know? He just starts leaving. Oh, this Marines? Oh, that's
my
really
god,
bad,
Jason is going to lose all his tanks. This could very well be it. QXC still maxed out. Jason is going to stim forward, and he might be able to do some serious damage there. Cleans up quite a few of those tanks, but ended up losing a lot of tanks in the middle of the map in the process.
TVT, the only matchup where you can stay zoomed out so far for this long.
Yeah, but it's actually pleasant. I actually like watching games a little bit more zoomed out. I'd never want to play like that, but watching games, I think it's very cool to watch zoomed out. Maybe not the double zoom, but at least one level of zoom.
Still no 3-3. Jason put up a hell of a fight given the circumstances. Like even on the tank upgrades, he was zero attack upgrades. Now there's +2 for QXC. He's going +3.
Yeah, but massive credits to QXC as well, though, for being AFK for so long. You know, working on his board game, being so busy with real life stuff, coming back, and perhaps taking the series here against the Terran that is pretty close to 6,000 MMR on the North American server.
Go there.
Wow, this tank's getting picked up as well. QXC thought. I think he's gonna advance. How sick would it be if QXC qualifies for Challenger? I'd lose it.
It'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to play another one of these Open Cups next time. It's your turn, Kev.
I'm just too old, Todd.
Yeah, I think you got very unlucky actually when you met Rail last time.
Yeah, Rail in the first round. That's not the dream.
That's pretty harsh.
Yeah. I put up a decent fight. It wasn't that bad. I can live with the result.
You could have won game 1. By the way.
I know, that's great. I love it. I think that's one of his emojis on his Twitch channel.
Everybody puts their own face. It's part of the decal there.
Oh, look at the STBs.
Everybody's like a super egotistical player in StarCraft somehow. Jason looking to try and defend one last time, but I don't think he's going to have enough. Oh my god, QXC was already sieging that location and he's going to clean up big time, and that's going to be it. QXC advances on to the next round just like that.
And we can go straight into my game where not a lot has happened so far.
We're not going to see much of ourselves today of like brackets. That's just game from game.
That's totally okay, Todd. Well, after this series, we can take a tiny bit of a break, but I like it. I think that's what the viewers want as well. More gameplay. The last cast is behind the desk. We're just giving the people what they want. Whoa. TRCC already being thrown on, part of the wall. As Blue Flame is being researched, this looks pretty damn similar to what we saw on Abyssal. I just wonder if we're going to see BioWise be a little more aggressive. Like, I think the way that BioWise was playing could work as long as he would have done something about the fort base. But the moment he let that fort base from Avillo just go up, kind of uncontested. There's a couple of these Banings do connect with the Hellions, but it's going to be a little bit careful here. It seems like Avillo wants to go in, but no, the Queens are pushing out a lot of damage. He's still going to go for it. Will he be able to enter the main? Look at how low HP these Hellions are. But if he gets like 2 good shots off, Avillo might be able to create a little bit of a barbecue here. Just a tiny barbecue, like a 2-person barbecue. Well, a 1-person barbecue.
A 1-person that's not very hungry barbecue.
Well, drones are pretty
One
cool.
chicken satay.
That would satisfy me, Todd, especially right now, middle of the night. Didn't eat yet.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great,
no more
guys.
pizza in the night?
No. Yesterday we had a pizza in between breaks, and then I feel like my stomach was playing up all the time. I'm like, here are the Hellions. It's like, let's never do that again. I'll just starve myself during this broadcast. By the time we finish, breakfast is gonna be open at the hotel anyway.
It was the yesterday.
Yeah, but yesterday I wasn't hungry after eating the pizza. All right, so what I feel that Bywise needs to do this game, Todd, and I think it should be a little bit easier, in honesty. If you take a look at the 4th base locations of Avilo, right? Okay, he's going to take his 3rd here. I assume he's going to take his 4th here, unless he takes the gold. But Avilo with his playstyle needs a lot of gas. I love how he landed the barracks here. It's like the latest barracks block ever. Links are going to deny it. I just really feel the key moment in the last game was Bywise letting that 4th base morph into a planetary. And he's like, you know, I'm fine. I'm just going to hold position, micro behind me, and I'm going to use Vipers to pick up units one by one. That doesn't work against a Terran like Avilo. If he's sitting on 4 bases, he's muling, he's saving up. He lost like 60 Vikings, and he was still maxed out. It was crazy.
He got the right amount of star pulse at the exact right time. That was actually like super impressive a game from Avilo once again. I really feel like so many things he did right, and that was only because he's got a ton of experience with this style.
Yeah. No, he played very well.
Like a lot of other Terrans that would have made there, they would have, I think, fallen apart. Started losing too many units, not had enough Vikings, and then they would have lost everything that they had across the map. It's almost as if, you know, everybody has like pushes, and some of them take longer to win than others because you're already considering the reinforcements, how well you're going to be doing and all that. That was like, how long was that game? Like a 20 minutes push.
Yeah, no.
That Avilo had foreseen and knew like how he was going to go down pretty much.
Once he moved out, he never went back. He had 1 speed, 1 gear. Go! And he went for it. No, it was really fun. And obviously, Bywise needs to do more on the other side of the map. He needs to start countering. He needs to pick up reinforcements.
There was some epic winning, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, once again, if somebody plays a great back game, Todd, you got to give him credit for it. And Avilo made it happen there. And Bywise is no slouch. This is not your random, you know, low GM.
I thought you were going to say a name for a second.
No. I had nobody in mind. But this is not like my Zerg or anything, you know. My Zerg is terrible, Todd. Bywise is a very legit contender that could even qualify for Challenger on a good day.
What's your Zerg MMR?
Around 5,000.
That's not bad.
It's definitely not great.
Yeah.
And I often feel that as your off races, your MMR doesn't truly represent your skill with that race. It's more just it represents your ability to play StarCraft with your
And also
main
it
race.
depends how much you play it, right? Like you should have a greater potential because you play another race well a lot of the time. Even though like for some people, like I think for me, my other races are really bad.
It seems that Bywise is going to be a lot more aggressive this time, Todd. He's almost maxed out, and this time he's not waiting.
How many tanks are there down there?
Not that many, and most of them
are
super
spread out.
Oh, that forced to see good cancel there by Avilo against all those corrosive balls.
Yeah,
but I like the way that Bywise is doing this. This time he's being very aggressive. He's disrupting the economy of Avilo. Has to be careful going up this ramp though. The STVs are blocking the Ravagers, and those tanks are doing a lot of damage. But even if Bywise doesn't kill all the tanks here, look at the damage he just did.
Look at the supply, Roddy, 100 difference. And these armies, like, I mean, you can just reinforce non-stop from there and clean up. Bywise, not wasting any time. He doesn't want to play one of those longer games once again against Avilo. And 2-2 was not even finished yet. It's the Batu now.
He just went for it. As soon as he was close to being maxed out, he went for it. He started to trade. He denied the 4th command center, and now he pretty much denies the mining of this 3rd base as well. And this is everything that Bywise did not do last game. Last game he said like, well, I'm playing against a player that plays very defensively. I'm just going to sit back and hold. But Avilo is very comfortable in those situations. And the moment Avilo got 4 bases, he just didn't go Bywise's way anymore. This was a very successful push, and during all of this thought, he did get his hive, so he can still get some Vipers now.
Man, well, you've got some energy today. I'm feeling the sleep schedule's working here. It's waking up at 11 p.m. somehow worked out.
I had a cheeky Red Bull as well before we started. Gets us going.
These always work.
Oh, that was the lowest HP medevac drop ever. Showed up.
Ready to spawn 2 queens.
And it died. I think Avilo's in a lot of trouble here, Todd. This time he was just not able to get his production going. He's going to try to secure this orbital one more time. But the roach numbers are overwhelming.
As they often are.
Yes.
Actually, I'm surprised he's not getting some more Ravagers to really clean up these tanks. An Overseer wouldn't hurt too, because there's always Widow Mines with Avilo. And you can't really ignore these guys.
He's bringing them.
Yeah.
Your wish shall be granted, Todd.
Overseers will pneumatize Carapace, man. And people who whine about Phoenix speed. Look at this.
They should get a cool skin as well. I really feel that StarCraft should sign a deal with Ferrari, and so we can finally get that Ferrari Oracle we've been waiting for.
That's the best thing.
Yeah, it's such a cool skin.
The new Vikings look pretty dope too. The skin. I think Avilo's time is almost out here in this game.
Oh, those mines are going to do a lot of damage, but it seems like BioWise just doesn't care, as he has so many roaches and ravages. He's going to bust down the front. He's going to clean up these tanks, and he's going to be able to clean... Ooh, you got to make up your mind, buddy. A lot of those tanks have been doing a lot of damage. Avilo did kill a lot of roaches this game already. 74! But I still think... Well, a lot of those units are very low on HP. Maybe the Vikings can land and save the day. Look at the mini-map, though. Look at it.
I'm looking at it. It's covered in red and purple. And I think BioWise has finally broken through the defense of Avilo. 34 army supplies, pulling the boys. The one tank coming from behind, like he was going to make a difference.
That tank was Fury. You remember the movie we saw?
Oh, I thought you meant the 4K player. I was like, that's kind of rude. Oh, yeah. Well,
great movie, I think.
Yeah, it was good, but he was not really nearly as relevant.
As the Roaches are going to pick up a few more of the STDs. Safe to say that this game is pretty much over. Avilo hovering around 95 supply. BioWise still maxed out. Just rallying all his Roaches across the map, and this time Avilo was never able to secure his fort base and barely able to secure his third as well. Honestly, it's just a pretty wide open map, man. This is not Abyssal. It's harder.
Here we go.
It's harder to keep your bases safe against, you know, big Roach numbers as we saw over here. And good macro, of course, about BioWise as well. He's just running around. He's getting a couple Vipers as well. So I was working on the debris.
These are going to be the final nail in the coffin, I think, when they come out. As there really isn't much left here for Avilo. I think, by the way, Jig against Canning. They're going to be doing Veto soon, and I'll get into that game.
Yeah, that's going to be a great series.
No break. Team no break.
I wonder who's going to win that series. Like, Mechanic is great, but Jig is a very, very strong Zerg player, so it's going to be hard for the legendary Disruptor man himself. The Can. That's just great now.
I hope we don't mean MMA cans.
I don't know. He is the Can. He's not a Can. No. He's the Can. Avilo is going to make one last-ditch effort in trying to build up an army. I mean, I must say, he's getting closer to having a real army again, 140 supply. And actually only having 46 workers means that his army supply is decent, but this orbital is quite low in HP. BioWise is waiting for his Vipers. The Vipers should be on the way. There's one Hydra as well. The tail of the one Hydra thought. The almost maxed out Zerg who added one Hydra.
I told QXT, by the way, still got it. And he said barely. Wasn't even planning to play today, and Semper told me about it. Looks pretty good so far.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to watching more of QXT in today's qualifier as well. Today's qualifier is just a lot of fun, Todd, because yesterday it was pretty obvious to me who was going to make it, at least the majority of it. Yeah. Those mines, by the way, holy hell, getting a lot of splash damage done.
Avilo's evening the supply here a little bit. What in the world is going on? If you can clean that up, even though it's looking pretty tough right now, yeah, I mean, that should be enough, right? The economy of
my god, where are these reinforcements coming from? That was a sick hold!
And oh my god, the Widowmans didn't die.
I can't believe that he was just able to hang on there. There was like 50 roaches.
Yeah, but he's running out of minerals. Does the natural still have anything?
Nah.
Yeah, not much. Just fly to the gold. Keep going. Make him mine out the map and defend everything he's throwing at you.
I do like the way that BioWise is doing it this time as well, dropping creep on all the potential fort base locations. That means that even when, you know, Avilo wants to sneak a fort base, he's always going to have to wait until he kills the Overlord, wait until the creep disappears. And that's actually very big. Avilo is once again going to go for a cheeky helmet drop. No, it's a double tank drop. That's interesting. Tried to snipe the hatch, but I think this Medivac is pretty dead, Todd. Micro. Yeah. Vipers are coming as well, though.
Peace.
No, it's going to get abducted. Where are the Vipers? Look at that Viper. He's going to try to take a shortcut. He's like, Scorpion. 3, 2, 1. Get over here. No, that's not happening.
What Scorpion?
Scorpion from Mortal Kombat with the hook.
Oh my god.
What? Isn't that what the
I didn't peg you as a Mortal Kombat guy.
I think everybody was a Mortal Kombat guy when they were young. Like these
days...
Well,
no, everybody had like a fighting game, but some people it's like Street Fighter or Smash or Tekken.
Yeah.
I was a bit of a Tekken guy.
I think Mortal Kombat the most.
I was like 5th base in my sleeping. Alright.
Multiple abducts being used over here as the last few tanks are getting picked off.
But Prestige a little bit late. Even though it's pole position again from BioIce, everything's getting abducted. Oh my god, this time there's not going to be enough Vikings and reinforcement, I think, from Avilo to hold on much longer. But we keep on saying that somehow in army supply, it's not that far behind.
Yeah, but the problem, like you said as well, is just that he's running out of minerals, right?
Yeah, last game I agree that like not flying these orbitals to new bases was okay because he was getting orbitals there, but now he's not. And then Nidus is going to be on the way here.
Yeah, I see.
Let's go full French. You know what they do, the French casters?
No.
They scream super hard, like when it goes up, Nidus Canal.
I will be willing to do that if this was a qualifying match, but in the round of 32, I prefer to take it a little much.
Hey, listen, the games are only going to be as epic as we make them to be.
Well, I mean, the games so far today have been good.
Yeah.
I've been really enjoying myself. It's a lot of fun. Widowmine does get a shot up. This is Avilo's moment, do or die. Can he secure the 4th base? And he's still dropping again. There's a Tor drop this time.
Oh my god.
He's
Look at his boss.
Do you remember the guy in the European server with the account Tor Rush? And he would proxy Tor every game? It was really good. I lost it.
It was very hard to underestimate Thors because not many people made them. So you weren't exactly sure how scary they were in fight, and then sometimes you had to fight them. You was like, oh my god, like, these guys actually hurt a whole lot.
And then you barely didn't have enough, and then 2 SCVs show up and they start repairing the Tor, and you're like, no! And then the new Tor shows up full on HP. The Nidus Canal thought it's going up, but the fellow is actually, he's aware of it. It's important he leaves these tanks though. 2 tanks might actually not be enough DPS to kill this immediately. Well, no, it is. There are a lot of Hydras. Would have been so sick if Avilo at the same time would have had a tank drop on the other side of the map, kill the Nidus, kill like 35 Hydras. Play of the year. That'd be sick. Not a Nidus network going down here. I mean, as long as Avilo has this fort, at least he's going to be able to produce units. It is a gold dust that's going to run out quite fast. There isn't really an answer against all these Vipers. Thought is getting us Jig against the Kansu. Wow, EMP.
We're getting options right now. I don't know why Jig in Canning actually hasn't started yet. I thought he was already a while back, but
I thought I saw an EMP, yeah. There was a ghost. Beautiful ghost.
Already died?
But it did land a pretty decent EMP.
He did his job. Took one for the team.
I just like the way that BioIce this game is keeping the pressure on, and that's one of the things you want to do as well against the Mac player. You want to
don't
keep
let him max out.
Starve him. Yeah. And that's exactly what he's been doing, and he's taking all the bases as well, still having excellent map vision. This base is sick, by the way. You know it, right? 3 gases.
Sick.
If you have high tempo.
Did he misplace it? Yeah, he did. No?
I have no idea. I haven't
taken
taken
a little bit high.
It looks kind of high, but yeah, this definitely looks far. Well, I don't know, maybe that's the only position you can take it because of all those gases.
Avilo must have been playing that campaign mission where you need to defend like forever against like a swarm of units, but so far he's holding on. Look at that tank line! Oh my god.
Yeah, but he has no answer against all the
Vikings. Where are the Vikings? He lost all of them?
For Widowmines as well, it's not going to be enough. And I think that Avilo is starting to accept defeat here on Odyssey. Played great game 1, game 2 had a decent start, but couldn't really get it going. BioIce's Road to Ravager attacks were just a lot more successful than they were in the game before. So they still hang in there. I love the never give up spirit that we're seeing over here. Woo! BioIce lost vision of this base. It is important that this base doesn't stay up and running for too long. But I think he's already moving his forces towards the south side of the map. How many mines have died in this game? 33. Yeah, 31 tanks. Not that many Vikings actually this game, only 10. Last game we had like 60 dead Vikings. Only see that in the TVT.
I've joined M. Canning's Jig game 1. I'm trying to figure out whether we make the other guys wait for the other game because it looks like 1-1, but somehow Avilo's not dying, and game 3 could be another 20 minutes game, so I think I'll just let them go.
Yeah, I think we can let a couple games go for now. Especially because we have M. Canning against Jig coming up, and that's just a very fun series. Even if we don't have a second series going on, I think people would love to watch the Can go up against the Jig. Let's see if the Jig is up or not, Todd. Couple goals gonna show up here for Avilo. Gonna try to land the EMPs that he's been dreaming of. I mean, slowly but steady, Avilo is securing bases. He's just never able to get there in army supply. Good job there by BioIce, dodging those EMPs. And one by one, it seems like the final units, well, those big hits though by the tanks and the Widowmines. But I think this is finally gonna be it, unless these mines somehow kill everything. Good landing cloud there as well on those last 3 remaining siege tanks. Thought, I know we thought it before multiple times in this game, but this time it truly is game over as Biowise evens up the series after an excellent game on Odyssey. Very well done, babe.
Yeah, we're going to get started with M-Canning Jig here in a second. I just love the pose before we leave. You know, it's like it's a nice touch. And that it's irrelevant anymore because now you still get the score screen. It's still a good try.
It is. So as soon as game 3 is live,
these
I will
are
jump
some
into
long
it.
games.
Yeah,
sure.
you know, every game. Today's been like yesterday. You know, we saw a couple of smack arounds in the first round or two. You know, and later on we had a couple close matches, but since we had players like Scarlet, like Jon Snow, like Penderby and me, they are too good. You know, they need to play against the Neeps, the Pillies, the Bills.